See, the thing is, I've never understood slut shaming. Like, I still to this day, I just like, why would you look at a person who's decided, because, you own your own body. What you do with it is up to you. I've never understood why people go out of their way to say, oh, it's really bad that you like sex. No, it's not. It's really bad you like Nazis or something. Not if you like sex.
Hello, I am Kay Anderson, and you are listening to Lost Spaces, the podcast that mourns the death of queer nightlife. Every episode, I talk to a different person about a venue from their past, the memories that they created there, and the people that they used to know. This week, we are welcoming back an old guest. And that's old, as in he's been on the show before, not that he is old. My guest is none other than Craig Law. He is a DJ and also hosts the In the Mix show on Gaydio, the world's biggest LGBT radio station. The last time that he was here, he told me all about his early days of gay clubbing in his hometown of Swansea, Wales. This time around, we are visiting Manchester's gay village and the lost club Kiki. Now, if you've ever listened to this show before, you know what to expect. You know that we do tend to sometimes, maybe, occasionally, perhaps, veer off topic. And this week, I fear we may have outdone ourselves. So, as well as me learning about Craig's days drowning in paperwork as a defense paralegal and how DJing and the queer scene saved him from that life, we also discuss, in no particular order, the logistics of hooking up with strangers when you're staying in a hotel with key cards and heavy security, getting your friends to set you up with their friends and all the troubles that can cause, bottom shaming, the concept of camp and how to apply it, and I even have time to pitch my new business idea for coaching pee-shy men. Shall we just get on with the show then?
I've always had a really low opinion of myself. I'm quite self-deprecating. I've been trying to stop that because my friends have told me to stop doing it.
Wait, is it self-deprecating or self-pitying?
You'd have to ask them, but I probably think they'd say more self-pity, but it comes out as deprecation.
Okay.
So I used to make little comments, about how short I am or, how I'm ginger and all these things.
How short are you?
Very short. I'm like really short. Like super short.
4'2"?
Okay, I'm not that short. Okay, I didn't say I was in like little person town. No, I'm like 5'5".
Okay, but if you were next to Kylie, you'd look big.
If I was next to Kylie, I'd be weeping.
I don't know why I said that.
I'd be weeping if I was next to Kylie. I'd be like,
why? Because of her perfume.
No, well,
your allergies.
Oh, you're shading Kylie. I'm going to leave. You can't shade Kylie. No.
I'm not shading Kylie. I'm just asking why you'd be crying.
Because I'd be in the presence of Kylie Minogue. It's like I'd be like bowing to her, curtsying. You'd be like in front of pop royalty. I think that's like one celeb.
How do you think she would respond to that?
Getting a restraining order, probably. If I was her, that's what I would do. Yeah, she'd probably block me on all social media and everything. But
so you're 5'5".
I'm 5'5".
I don't know if I've imagined how tall you are.
And to be honest, I've always kind of buried that stat, and now I'm kind of like being very much owning it. It's kind of like, okay, I don't care.
Well, how do you bury it? Do you mean like online?
Yeah, so
it's not something you could really hide very easily.
Yeah. So I used to bury it with self-deprecation. What did I used to say on Grindr? My friend hated it. Something about being a short ginger midget. Something like that. And I remember my friend saw it on Grindr and he was like, no. That's like the least sexy thing ever. And
I have a really important question for you right now.
Go on.
What do you think of the term pocket gay?
I love it.
Really?
I love it. I love it.
Do you not find it a bit insulting.
No, not really. No, you're probably asking the wrong person because there's a lot of things I don't find offensive or insulting. My tolerance for it is so low. So it's like, yeah, I'm probably the wrong person to ask, but I don't find it insulting. I'd find it kind of cute, actually. Max used to call me his short.
His short.
Yeah, it was from a TV show we watched. I can't remember the show, but it was a show, and there was like a couple in there, and one was tall and one was short, and they sort of refer to each other as the tall and the short. You're my tall, you're my short. And it was really cute. I mean, goofy as hell now I'm saying it out loud, but...
But do you have people assuming that you're a bottom because of your height?
Oh my God, all the time.
Yeah.
But not just that. It's just about, apparently, right? And this, okay, are you ready for this? This is you've pushed one of my buttons now. Okay, so I hope you're ready for this. This is all on you. Okay, this is all on you.
Okay, sock it to me.
Yeah, I'm going to sock it to you, baby. Yeah. People always assume, right? And this drives me nuts. Really drives me nuts. People always assume that I'm quite camp and effeminate. Now, I don't have a problem with that at all, but I'm not. It's just that I can be quite outgoing in the way I speak. And, I always say I have Italian hands. I'm always moving my hands. Like, even now, I'm moving my hands. And I don't know why. No one's watching.
Is that a xenophobic thing to say?
It probably is. But it's just one of those things when I'm being tarred with a brush that I don't deserve. And again, no problem with it, but people have kind of preconceptions then when they hear, Craig's quite camp. It gives other people a preconception about me that...
Okay, we're talking about two different things here. But let's talk about this camp thing first.
Okay.
So they're making assumptions that you're camp because you are camp?
Well, because they associate with my ability to speak quite well. I hope I can speak quite well.
I think you can.
Thank you. But they're assuming that, and the fact that I use my hands as quite a camp thing, and I've got effeminate friends and everything, and I love them. But I
some of my best friends are effeminate.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Some of my best friends.
And so you're saying that is an indicator of your sexual preference if you're deemed to be camp.
But not just sexual preference, just in terms of a person's predisposition of your personality. Like, I remember a person coming up to me and saying, you must really, really like Kylie. And yes, I do, but it's nothing to do with the fact that you think I'm camp or you think I'm, that I'm gay. It's just that Kylie makes awesome music that can be appreciated by any person, irrespective of their mannerisms or sexuality or whatever.
She comes up a lot on this show. What about Cher, though? What's the litmus test there?
Love her. I mean...
Okay, these people might all have a point.
But you see, I also like Coldplay.
Oh, okay, that's not helping your case.
Okay, how is Coldplay camp? Actually, hang on, let me dial that back, because how is Coldplay camp?
No, okay, but the bigger thing here is you don't like being called camp.
I have no problem being called camp, but I hate being prejudged. I hate it. I hate that someone has...
So help me understand then. So what does what does that mean to you? If someone prejudges you as being camp, why is that a problem?
I think it's just because that in our community, I think it's always been that camp people have always been viewed with quite a bit of disdain in my experience. And I don't, again, that's another thing I don't like, because, our community can be quite judgmental at times. And that's not something I really like. Again, it goes into that top and bottom shaming thing, where one role is deemed to be more subversive than the other, and I think that's that when you and people think
total
of
bullshit.
Yeah, it is. It's total bullshit, and it's just So I mean, it's not just about me calling camp. I hate it when people think that I'm posh. I've had that before, just because I wear glasses, and one time I went out to a gay bar wearing a jumper over shirt. I think I came from work. I was doing an office job, and someone went, "Oh, you're really posh." And I was like, "How the
posh?"
Yeah, I mean, this is Wales. To be fair, it probably is posh in Wales. But again, it's just I just hate being prejudged, whether people think I'm camp or posh or whatever. I just hate it. I'd rather people just get to know me on face value, and the fact that yes, I am gay. I love Kylie, but I also love football. And, and again, I know plenty of gays like that, that are just like, don't just say, oh, you're the camp one. Or like I used to get when I used to work in offices, people used to make me the gay one, and it drove me nuts. It drove me absolutely nuts. I was like, of all the things you could assign to my personality, you choose the least interesting thing.
I know, why wouldn't they call you the short ginger one?
Exactly. Why not? It's just, I just hate all of that. I just hate being prejudged. It's not just about, I have no problem being called camp because I think we all have a bit of camp in us.
I think it's just, so I struggled with that word myself for years. And I think it's just because for me, camp is just such a a nothing concept. It's so broad and also so narrow. And I can't get my head around what is camp and what isn't camp. Apart from the obvious. But when people use camp as a descriptor, I'm just like, oh, how did they come up with that?
See, I'm not good at that. I'm with you there. I don't know when something, when there's something that looks camp, like someone will bring out a purse like, oh, that's camp. And I'm like, well, I don't understand.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a kitschiness, right?
Yeah, I think.
But they're not interchangeable. They're slightly different somehow, but I don't really get it, to be totally honest. But yeah, there was a period of time when I was a teenager, I remember, when people were calling everything camp, and it was just like, I don't care, I don't understand. I can't join in because I don't know how you're classifying these things. But yeah, I going back to this thing about your height and people assuming that you're a bottom because of your height. It's really just, to me, an indication of how heteronormative queer culture can be. And even though we rally against it, heteronormativity, it's kind of inescapable, right?
Ish. I mean, again, and that goes back to me, loving the fact that the world is more free. There's just so much to our community than just being tops and bottoms. I mean, there's so much more to it now.
Like what?
Well, there's first tops, first bottoms, there's sides. I mean, I learned about sides a few years ago, and that opened my eyes. And I think that's the thing. I think we're going down that path, and thank God we are. I think we're going down the path where we now stand to realise where people are different. I mean, that's so cliche, it's so corny, but it's true. And I think we've gone away from all these labels now, where you're either this or that. When there's so much grey area. Actually, no, not grey area, rainbow area. There's so much rainbow area. There's so much more to it. And
as long as there's no glitter.
Yeah, glitter's a bitch.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Especially in your beards. I'm still picking glitter on my beard.
That is an occupational hazard for you, isn't it?
A little bit. But going back to it, I think it's great. I think it's great that we now start to embrace everyone's differences and recognizing the differences and kind of just saying, fuck yeah, everyone's different. Let's just go along with it.
I don't know, if we go back to the top of our conversation where we were talking about how sex is far more transactional now, you kind of need to boil yourself down to one thing in order to make yourself appealing on Grindr or on Scruff or whatever. You need to have this unique selling point. You can't be like, I'm a complex being.
But I've seen that on Grindr. I've seen that.
Yeah, and what have you done? You've blocked those people, right?
No, absolutely not. I mean, there's a difference between someone who sounds like an absolute nutcase. I mean, you see those on Grindr. The people who are like, no fats, no femmes, no whatever. Those kind of really gone in the head people. And there's a difference between that and a person who's kind of embracing their differences. And those people on Grindr I kind of like, because, sometimes when you go to London, you load up the Grindr grid and it's all faceless profiles or really muscly guys with very specific requirements. And I kind of like seeing that, but I know what you mean. I think in order to be successful on a dating app, you do have to boil yourself down to some, common denominator to appeal to the kind of person you want to have sex with.
Yeah. So we're talking about Manchester. We're talking about Kiki in Manchester.
Kiki, yes.
So I want to play a game with you.
Okay.
I'm going to start a sentence and you're going to finish it for me, okay?
Okay.
The one word that I would use to describe Kiki is...
lively.
My favorite thing about Kiki was...
the people.
And if it wasn't for Kiki...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. If it wasn't for Kiki...
Well, I can't say one word after that. It'd be a terrible sentence.
No, it doesn't have to be one word.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a one-word thing.
God, you were not listening to my instructions.
Okay. So what was the thing again? What was the prompt?
If it wasn't for Kiki...
I'd probably be dying of boredom working as a law person somewhere and just hating everything.
A law person?
Yeah.
It's very non-specific.
Well, yeah, because I was a paralegal, and I might have gone on to train to become a solicitor or something, but it wouldn't be what I'm doing now, and I hated every second of it.
So shall we go back in time to those days then?
To those
when you were
days,
working as a
yeah. Okay.
paralegal. So tell me about it. Where were you working? What were you doing? Oh, you don't have to say the name.
I won't name and shame them, but I was working for a public sector legal organization as a defense paralegal. So, sometimes, when the company's employees do something wrong, I have to defend them.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I always wanted to be kind of like a lawyer or barrister. I thought that was what I was supposed to do. So I went to uni, did law school, did all of that. And then when I finally got to actually do it, I realized I hated it.
Oh, that sucks.
It was just so boring and just so needlessly intense, and just, you'd look around the room and everyone there hated what they were doing, and my mum, God bless her soul, she always used to say, if you get up and you hate what you're doing, then, you're not living.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that was kind of my path. We talked in the last episode about Champers, in Swansea,
Mm-hmm.
and, I was DJing part-time there whilst I was working in law. And yeah, and it just so happened that was what I was doing. I was DJing at the weekends part-time, and my future was being a paralegal, and, and I hated it. I look back now and I realize that it just wasn't a very healthy thing for me.
So what was the catalyst then? What was the thing that got you out?
So basically it's a two-pronged thing. So the first thing was I got offered the chance to join Gaydio. And it's kind of, I did a few cover shows for Gaydio, and I did some mixes, and I got to know the Gaydio team. And one of them was my good friend and now my boss, Chris Herbert. And he was working at Gaydio, and we got to know each other really well, and, we got on really well. And he had just started in a new bar in Manchester called Kiki. So they were looking for DJs for Manchester Pride one year. Because during Pride, the bars are open pretty much from the morning until, the next morning. So they need like all the DJs. So he was like, why don't you come up and do a set of Kiki? And to be honest, I didn't think anything of it really. I just thought, I'm going to be up there anyway for Manchester Pride, like I did most years. So I thought I'll go and play this set. So I played downstairs in Kiki, what used to be called Void. It was the late club. It'd be open until 10 in the morning. But I played there during Pride, and there was like no one there. I swear to God, I was DJing to no one but the bar staff in this basement room.
I've just said, but how does that feel for you? Like, is that actually kind of like fun because you get to just do what the fuck you want?
It to be honest, it used to really kind of piss me off. Well, not piss me off. I always thought it would be my fault.
Yeah.
Even though there's nothing you could have done, because it's the time. I look back and I think, of course, no one's there. It was a sunny day and everyone's outside. Of course, someone's not going to be in a basement club at 2:00 in the afternoon. So again, that's all down to me again, kind of recalibrating the way I think about things. So yeah, I DJ to no one, and unbeknownst to me, it was a trial shift. Chris didn't tell me this, but it was a trial shift.
So he was in the corner spying on you.
But no, I think he was on the main stage actually. But he didn't. What I didn't realize was the manager of the venue was listening. And I had no idea, so I just did my thing and just tried to enjoy it as much as you can, when you're playing to a room of nobody. And, and just did my thing, collected my money and went away. And then literally the week after, they get in touch and they say, we really liked your set. And I remember the time going, you're taking the piss now. You're taking the piss. There's no one there to DJ to. And they were like, no, we like what you did. And I ended up doing a few Friday nights at Kiki, and it's a big deal, for me, coming from a little town in South Wales to play on Canal Street, which is I can't think of any areas in the world better than Canal Street to be a gay. I just can't, or a lesbian or LGBT. It's just the most amazing place. Even now, I've been DJing there 8 years now, and I still love it every time I play in Canal Street. So to be given the chance to play there, and I thought, I'll do a couple of cover shifts and it'd be great. It's a 4-hour commute, but it's worth it.
So for those of us who haven't been to Canal, I don't know why I said it like that because I have been to Canal Street, but for those of us, anyway, let's just go with that. So for those of us that have never been to Canal Street, what is it that's so magical about it?
I think it's a mix of the history and just the fact that there's this one, well, I say one street, but of course there's the whole Manchester gay village, that there's this one area where you can just be unashamedly you. Because even today, I think there's places that people who are LGBT can go into and not quite feel like being themselves. feel like they can be themselves without being targeted or judged, And the thing about Canal Street is, from the first second I ever went there just as a customer to when I was there last week playing a gig in, the big gay super club, it is the sense of magic that you can be whatever the hell you want to be, and it's completely fine. Just don't be an asshole. That's like the rule.
And how does that feel?
It feels amazing. It really does. When you think about all the venues that have come before it, all the people that have come before it, all the history of Canal Street. And when you're DJing and you're looking out and you see all these really young LGBT people who are starting their journey that most of us did, 10, 15, 20 years ago, they stand their own thing. And it just makes me so happy that there's an area where, people can go and be themselves and have a great time, be safe, and just express themselves without fear of repercussions.
You sound like you feel as though you're an elder in the community.
I do feel like that now. Yeah, I do. I kind of feel like that now, I think, because I've been around a while now by Canal Street terms. But
so how often do you use the term "when I was your age"?
No, it's really awkward because I swear I think I used it with my niece at the weekend. So but I always hear myself saying something like that. I mean, I remember I was telling a story on Gaydio and somebody texted in going, why is it every time you're on air, you always make it sound like old people should just, it's such a bad thing to get old.
Do you?
Yeah. And I didn't realize I was doing it. I didn't realize that I was so negative about growing old, in the LGBT sphere.
And is that you talking about your own age and making a joke of it?
Yeah. It's just me. I would never insult someone else's age.
So it wasn't you going like,
yeah.
oh God,
so I was
old,
saying about, I think I was making some stupid thing about someone calling me daddy on Grindr. Just something really, just pointlessly stupid. And then it made me realize then that, we're saying these things and we don't realize how they're being interpreted or how they're making people feel. And, I remember reading it. And I mean, my first instinct was to go, oh, piss off. But then, I listened back to what I said and I thought, you know what, you've actually got a point. It goes back to that whole, my friends telling me not to be self-deprecating thing. What the hell is wrong with being, gay and getting older? There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. Just embrace it. And I certainly should be negative about it on an LGBT radio station. It made me just it made me think about the things I say and the way I say it.
It's really interesting, and it's hard to disentangle from the wider society, because I know lots of people who are like, well, I really wish I could go back to school, but there's no point because I'm 35. And it's like, like if you're lucky, then you're going to live to like 80, 90. Like, I think you've got time to do this if you want to do it. But people are just so like, no, I've had my chance. That's it. So, sorry, that's a bit of a meandering statement, but it's very prevalent in the gay community, and it's just really fucking annoying.
Yeah, it is. I think my thing came from living in an era when I was going out clubbing where old people were kind of described to me as being quite seedy and quite...
and now you're the seedy old man.
Exactly. But no, obviously you get to know them and you realize it's not like that at all.
Yeah.
I just think it's the kind of environment I was kind of brought up into, and thank the Lord that the gays of today, or the LGBT people of today, are coming up in a much more enlightened environment. Thank God.
Well, I don't know if they are.
I think they are. I mean, maybe I'm just an optimist.
I don't know. I just think people never stop being pricks.
I mean, that's true. I mean, that's true with everyone I've ever dated. But, but we could talk about this all night. I think that it's a running joke that apparently I love twinks. There's like a huge running joke that I like twinks, and looking at my exes, they probably got a point. I probably do have a very specific type. I don't subconsciously go out there and think, that's the only person I'd ever date. Maybe I was like that 5 years ago, but I think today I'm far more...
desperate.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm far more desperate. Thank you. Please date me. Please date me. If you don't want to date me, just sleep with me.
If you're interested in Craig, then call this number now.
I'm not paying you commission.
Why not?
You're not my pimp.
Well, no, I'm just the matchmaker. And I think that's a service that should be paid for.
No, absolutely not.
So, okay, so if someone listens to this episode and then gets in touch with you and then you fall in love and get married, you're not going to be like,
I'll do you another podcast, okay? That's what you
£20.
get. We'll jump on a podcast and we'll do a thing about how we fell in love, all thanks to you.
Oh, well, now I'm just not going to bother.
Oh, great. Now it
Just
sounds
not
like
gonna
me on
bother setting
Grindr.
you up with anyone.
See, here's the thing. Actually, you can help me with this. Should I be offended that none of my close friends, have set me up with their gay friends?
But so a few more details that I will need before I can make a statement on this. Have you asked them to do that for you?
Yes.
And what was their response?
Well, they just kind of and ah, and they go, I don't know if you two are compatible. Well, hi, give me a go.
I think I'm with your friends on this one. Not like obviously I don't know them.
How do I disconnect?
But if you said it to me, like just set me up with someone.
Okay.
I would do it, but only if it was someone who I thought, yes, that's going to work. Because if I did it and you both hated each other, then who are you going to blame?
Probably the other guy.
No, me. I'm the one getting blamed.
No.
You're
It's just
like, oh, he has terrible taste in friends.
no. It's just I see all these people who are like, oh, we met through friends, and it occurred to me a while back, and I was like, hang on,
Get better friends, Craig.
yeah, you know what I need to. They'll probably listen to this, so yeah, you're all fired. Bring me the gays. Bring me your finest homosexuals, please.
But do you not think it's just no. It creates weirdness if you date friends.
Like, it's just getting to that point now where, I'm getting, well, I say broody, but apparently that means you want a kid. And I'm definitely not broody for a kid. No way. No, ma'am. No.
But you're ready to make a nest.
Yeah, just no kids. Yeah, I just kind of am. I don't know if it's because I've been watching way too many rom-coms or something, but I don't know. I just kind of, I've kind of gone past that. Like, even last weekend when I was in Manchester, usually I'd be trolling Grindr and trying to get people to come to the hotel, standard.
Well, see, this is, so do you have to like go down and let them in?
It depends on the hotel.
This is
and
weird. It's annoying
this is
when
where I
you're
have
in
a
a
$1 billion idea. Oh, £1 billion idea, sorry. Okay. So what if, right, there was like a TripAdvisor, but it's exclusively for gays, right? Or, LGBT people. And it literally rates how good the hotel is for hookups. Do they need a key to come up to the room?
Is there? Yes.
No way.
I think it's called Cum Dump Hotels or something.
Okay, I'm Googling that. I'm worried about Googling this, but I don't care. Hang on, I'm Googling this. Cum Dump Hotels. What did it? Oh my God, it is.
I'm sorry. It's already been created. I've stolen your idea.
Okay, the headline's amazing. Looking for a hotel to wait on all fours with a door unlocked? Trying to find a holder seat? I love it. Oh, you got to give your email. Maybe I should put my boss's email in there. He'd love that.
But maybe you can be like an investor, get in on the ground floor.
It definitely needs a better website. But I can't believe. Hang on, created by Global Glory Hole? Excellent. Okay, of course. Excellent. No, but it's an amazing idea. It is an amazing idea.
So how does the business model work? Because if it was TripAdvisor, they'd be getting a commission for every sale. But I don't think very many hotels are going to want to be listed.
I don't know. Affiliate ads or something like that. I haven't thought about the business side of things,
Okay, all right, sorry.
But the concept's so good. So there's definitely hotels in certain places where, there's a notorious one in Manchester that's basically a sex hotel. There's no other way of putting it. And it's a horrible hotel. It's so grim. But lots of people stay there and lots of things go on there.
Oh, so interesting. I wonder if that's like in their business model. Like
it has to be.
Like their comm strategy or something. Like
I don't know, but
they have to know, right? They have to know when they see all these shifty-looking men coming through reception.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things. But it's a great business model, and but there's definitely hotels in every city that you'd stay at that are better for hookups than, say, your travel lodges, which have like bouncers on the door and everything, and that's just like, okay, no. You can't have anyone back there.
Yeah, I just can't be bothered.
It's homophobic. You can't expect me to just sleep in my hotel. If I'm paying this much for it, you better believe I want to get some sex.
How dare you not let me have 15 strangers over?
Exactly. How am I supposed to get this flotilla of power bottoms through the door when there's a bouncer, It's just, it's ridiculous. But
Oh.
I can't remember what we were talking about.
We were talking about, you're getting broody, but not broody. You're just wanting to settle down.
Yeah, I mean, and that's probably an age thing. I guess I'm just getting kind of relationship broody and.
But so when was the last like proper relationship, or semi-serious relationship?
Oh God, it's about 2 years ago actually. 2.5 years ago.
So maybe it's just that like you're over the novelty of being single, and you're like, oh yeah, I could do with something different.
Maybe I guess it just comes down to. I mean, one of the things I really hate about DJ, when you're a touring DJ, when like a lot of DJs only DJ in the local city, I tend to go everywhere. I'm a bit of a DJ slut. Yeah, it gets really lonely, and I know I don't want violins to start playing or anything, but it does actually get really, really lonely. And and it happened to me at the weekend. I was stuck in Manchester because of the damn storm. And I had to stay another night at the hotel. And you know what? I didn't talk to a single person for about 10 hours. So it gets lonely, and it made me think about the times where I drag my boyfriend with me, on the road, and how good it was coming back from a gig. And, and sometimes, you feel like you've done shit and you come back and he's in your bed and you just have a really nice cutch. And it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, I think that's why I'm particularly broody now.
So first of all, we just need to explain that cooch is. Oh, did I? I don't think I said that right, did I?
What? Say it again.
I can't. Now I'm self-conscious.
Cooch. No. Oh. Okay, cooch is vagina, isn't it?
Yes, but that's why it's like, because it's just like a hug. It's so warm and.
Yeah, but a cooch doesn't involve vaginas.
Surrounds you.
There's no vaginas. Well, I don't know what kind of cooching you guys do, but there's no vaginas in my cooching.
Anyway, so it's a Welsh word for hug, cuddle.
Yes.
But is there any more nuance to it?
No, it's just that Welsh people are the best huggers in the world. If hugging was an Olympic sport, Wales would be top of it every time.
And so let's just say it one more time.
Cooch.
No.
Cooch. So it's cooch.
Like butch.
Like butch, but cooch. There we are. That's a good way. Like butch, but cooch.
All right, cool. I'm down. So
good.
What do you want to do? You just want to come home and have a cuddle?
Yeah. I mean, cuddling's the best. I mean, that is the thing I miss the most in all relationships is just the cuddling and just having someone else around, and just, that's something I really do miss.
See, I get that companionship thing, but like the cuddling, I'm not.
What, are you not a cuddler?
I just like, it's fine. And then it's not fine.
What? Okay, at what point does it become not fine?
Like about 30 seconds in.
Oh, okay, they're doing it wrong. They do. You got to find the nook. You have to find the nook. Okay. Hang on. Are you the big spoon or the little spoon?
I prefer big spooning.
Okay, so they've got to find your nook.
I just don't know. Are we?
What?
Yeah. I just think it's not for me.
I mean, I'm disappointed in you, and I think you should be sent to a war crimes tribunal. But
hang on. You're not into slut shaming, but you're into shaming.
No, I just cut shamed you.
Not into cuddling. All right, fine.
Okay,
great.
So if you're not cutching a guy, what are you doing?
If I disappear, it's because of Craig.
So when you're in bed with a guy and you're not having sex or any kind of sexual thing, what do you do with the guy?
I'm on the other side of the bed.
Oh no!
You can send me a postcard. Yeah.
Oh, the poor guy.
No.
Oh God, are you one of those guys that like after he's finished is like, okay, get away from me, go away?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but not like in a horrible way. Just in a like, don't touch me.
Don't touch me. You're so charming.
No, but it's like, Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Do you want to end the conversation?
I do. I feel so violated. The only exception to that rule, I think, for me, is that I can't like, you know how some couples like they'll cuddle like all night when they're sleeping.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Okay. No, have an opinion, why don't you? No, but I can't do that because, especially with my ex, he was basically a human radiator. So after the cuddling, I'm like, okay, get over to your side of the bed. You're way too hot, and it's just
But
so we have the cutch, and then we.
So then, how long would the cutch last?
Oh, if it was me, it'd be hours.
Really?
It'd be hours if it was me. Oh god, it's the like me and one of my other exes. We used to have this thing where we would wake up and we'd listen to Radio 2, like be in a hotel sometimes. So we'd listen to Radio 2, and they'd have Pop Master on with Ken Bruce, and we'd play Pop Master whilst cuddling, and it was like the best thing ever.
I guess you had to be there.
Well, no, Pop Master rocks anyway, but just throwing kutching, and it's like amazing.
And so how long would that last?
Oh, it'd be hours, I think, until checkout, pretty much.
Oh, geez.
So it was great. It was. Again, it might just be a Welsh thing, like I don't think you'd meet very many Welsh people who don't love a good cutch.
I mean, is it a Welsh thing?
Maybe. I mean, I don't think I've met a Welsh person that doesn't love a cutch, but again, I'm surprised you don't. So, what do I know? What do I know?
Anyway, Manchester.
Yeah, it's Kiki.
And Kiki. Let's spend some time there. So, okay. No, let's go one step back. Paralegal. Do you remember the decision to be like, I'm not doing this anymore?
Yeah, I actually do, because it was pretty horrific. So I had a paycheck. I just done a full weekend of DJing, and then I looked at my pay slip, and I realized that I only got paid like a little bit more for doing a month's worth of work for the same that I was doing for a weekend.
Ah.
But then I remember telling myself, this is, you could, if you want to be a solicitor or you want to be, a big in the legal sector, these are the, you got to pay your dues and all that stuff. And then I remember opening, I'm not kidding. There was literally piles of case files on your desk. I mean, it happens in movies, but it's true. You go into most law offices and people's desks are piles of case files. So I pick up my next one, and I did a lot of medical work, like medical defense work. And I'm not kidding. It was so grim. It was a photo of a woman's cesarean section gone wrong. And that's when I realized I wasn't being paid enough to do this crap, and there's more to life. And I just went home, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just cannot do this. I hated the office. I hated the people. I hated the work. I hated everything. From the moment I woke up until the time I got home, I hated it all. And I just realized I couldn't do that for the next 40 years. And to be fair, it wasn't me who made the decision. It was my mother, actually, who made the decision for me, because she could see that I was just so unhappy.
Oh, wow.
She, and I'm quite an upbeat person.
Yeah.
My mother's never really saw me as someone who's like quite depressing or anything like that. I've never been like that. But I think that was one time in my life where I just hated getting up in the morning.
And so what did your mum do?
Well, she was just like, like, no job is worth this. Nothing is worth this at all. She's like, is this what you want to do for the rest of your life? And I was like, no, actually, I don't. I don't think I can do it for the rest of my life. And she went, well, why didn't you do something you want to do? What do you want to do? And I said, well, if I could, I'd make money from being a DJ. And she went, well, why didn't you give that a go? Wow. And that's where it all started.
And so did you quit dramatically, or?
I wish I did.
Aww.
I mean, I wish I could have said I went out in like a blaze of thing, but I remember giving at that time, I think I only had to give 2 weeks notice, and I did like 4 days. And that's when I was like, I would literally jump off a bridge if I have to come in. So I just phoned in sick.
Oh, really?
Because I couldn't do it. And it's the only time I think in my life where I physically could not bring myself to do something like that. Because I just couldn't do it. I hated it.
Do you ever think about where you would be now if you had stayed at it?
All the time. I do, because like everyone has those moments where you're lying in bed, it's 2 a.m, you can't get to sleep, and then your brain decides to say, "Hey, let's play that game of what if." So yeah, all the time, and I'm scared. Like I don't know what kind of person I would have become if my mum hadn't stepped in, and because I always thought that that's the thing I had to do, that you had to get this job, and it didn't matter if you loved it or hated it. You just had to pay the bills, and it was soul destroying. And I think my mum could see that it was literally eking out my soul, that all the joy that I used to have, and all the thing that I used to love about life had just gone, just doing this thing that I thought I was supposed to do, and my mum saw that, and and God bless, I genuinely think my mum saved my life.
So when you're having these conversations with yourself in the middle of the night, what do you imagine?
I imagine just being deeply unhappy.
Oh, okay.
Bitter.
So you're never like, Oh, I wish I had.
No, never, not even once.
Oh, that's good.
You know, the only thing I regret in relation to that is I wish I didn't go to law school. I mean, I loved uni. It was an amazing time. Where I went to uni was paradise. I met amazing people. But I wish I'd done something different because it set me on that path. That's the only regret I have. But I don't for 1 second regret it. I talk to my old classmates and the vast majority of them don't work in the legal sector anymore for the exact same reasons as mine. Because it's soul crushing, it's destroying, it consumes all the joy. And you have to be a certain type of person to succeed in that kind of work. And I don't think I'm that. I don't think I could be as competitive or cutthroat or that kind of work requires you to be.
But did it teach you anything that's useful in your current profession?
To be fair, a lot of the skills in law are transferable to DJing, I think. I think how you deal with people and being able to juggle many, many, many things at the same time. With DJing, that's what it's like. You know, you don't get a break. I mean, me personally, I kind of feel like sometimes DJing is like running a marathon sometimes for me. Depends on which DJ you ask, but I tend to focus 100% all the time. You know, I think about what I'm going to do next, what I'm going to play next. Yeah, all the time, yeah. Like, if you try and talk to me when I'm playing, you will just get a brick wall. You won't get much sense out of me because I'm just focused on the set. And a lot of people interpret that as kind of rudeness or me being ignorant, but it's not. It's just the way that I play.
So I'm not saying any of this to offend you.
Okay.
I'm saying this to understand. So you put a record on and then you're not like, oh, I'll just chill out for 3 minutes and then put the next one on. You're thinking like, what's in the same key as this? What's the same BPM? Like what?
And sometimes I'm thinking 2 or 3 songs down the line. You know, I'm thinking about where I need to be. A lot of DJs probably do plan this set beforehand, but I don't. I decide what to play pretty much on the night. I just like it that way. I think it becomes a lot more interesting. I think it makes it a lot more dynamic and a lot more fun.
And so in this planning 3 or 4 songs ahead, do you ever then have to shift the boat because, I don't know why I said shift the boat, you'd like to change course because the crowd isn't responding to the music that you're currently playing?
Oh yeah, all the time. That's one of the first things you have to learn when you're DJing after you've actually learned to mix is you have to be able to learn to read a crowd. But I think I'm lucky right now in that I play a lot of venues where they have a certain style and people come in and expect a certain thing. So it's very hard, I think, to lose a crowd now in these kind of venues. I think if you're playing like, you know, a Slug and Lettuce where you've got to play like all the genres, you know, you'll go from something really cheesy to, you know, something really R&B, you know, which is my ideal of hell. So I think, you know, I've been lucky, especially like Kiki's the best example of this in the world. You know, like Kiki's crowd was so up for it. You could play almost anything and they would dance to it. That is one of my favorite things about Kiki was the people, because you go into a lot of clubs and the DJ only has to play one bad song and you lose the crowd. And I've played plenty of those kind of gigs, and it's really annoying because years ago it used to be crowds would trust the DJ. They would stay on the floor and they would be like, okay, where's he going with this? And now it's not. It's like, we've got to hear hits all the time. Every second it has to be amazing.
Oh, that's really interesting. So you've noticed this change in the way that crowds interact.
Yeah, like now. I mean, I'm talking in very kind of generalistic terms, but I think now in a lot of clubs they want the DJs to create moments every moment. And that's not what the kind of DJing I was brought up with. I was taught out that the moment is set. It's a journey. As corny as that sounds, it is a journey. It's a musical experience. You know, you're not trying constantly, you know, and that's why the length of songs has gone down. That's something a lot of people have noticed, even when they're not DJs. You know, years ago, you'd have long dance songs. Now they're about 3 minutes long. It's not even enough time to pee. So now you have to make a pee mix. So, you know, like back in the day, like back in the day, you know, when I was younger, you could just stick a really long song on. But now you have to have an actual mix.
Oh, yeah. And because you can't just go to the urinal and pee.
Exactly.
You have to queue up for the cubicles. See? Like, that could be like 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. I ain't that bad. I don't have like a prostate problem that I know of.
No. No. The comment I'm making is on the propensity for gay men to wait to use the cubicle or to do drugs or have sex in there.
Yeah. All those
which then
things. All
holds it
natural.
up
All
for
great.
everyone else. Yeah. And I think this is the reason that I can use the urinal, because I did used to be pee shy, but then I'm also really impatient and I hate queuing. So getting over the pee shyness won.
So do you like kind of stand there, like dick in hand and kind of just like willing the pee to come out? Like demanding it comes out?
No, well, so it used to be like I used to do that thing where you'd go up to the urinal and get your dick out, and then like nothing would happen. And you'd be like, I know I need to pee. I know you're in there. Come out. And then it just didn't. And I really don't know what changed in me, but now I can just be like, yep, here we go, and piss.
Damn, I wish I could do that.
Maybe this is how I make my million.
Yes.
It's
Pee
training.
coaching.
Yeah, become some kind of pee shyness coach. Would that help if I stood behind you shouting?
No! Absolutely not. I'd probably shout back, but I'd be like, no. And the problem
What if I
is...
sang to your penis? Like, come out, wherever you are.
I mean, I'm kind of flattered you think my penis is big enough to be a microphone, but...
No, I'm singing
thanks.
to it. I'm like, coaching the pee out. I might need to workshop this idea, but I think
You
there's
probably
something
will.
in it.
I mean, it sounds like Germany would love it. I mean, if anything I've heard about Germany is true,
But
they
I
would
think
love that.
also, if I know anything about toxic masculinity, if there is a straight man who cannot pee at the urinal, I'm going to be able to make tons of him.
I don't think he's going to like you singing to his dick, though.
Yeah, I might need to change my methods.
You might have to say, like, what was it? No homo. No homo.
I could do that, yeah. I mean, a buck's a buck, right?
Well. But yeah, Kiki.
So, yeah, let's go back to Kiki. Like,
Yes.
I might have said that a few times already this evening. What, how did you find out that it was closing?
So I remember finding out when I got kind of tipped off by someone that it'd been bought, and that it was going to be rebranding into this new bar. And my first instinct was obviously sadness. It was kind of like, that place meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to anyone who's played there. You ask a lot of Manchester DJs about what their favorite time playing was, and they'd probably say Kiki, because it was just so chaotic and so much fun. And, it was an awesome place to play. Without it being too big, like a lot of DJs are size queens when it comes to clubs, but Kiki was never about being massive. It was always big enough to be good without it being like a cavernous warehouse. It was great. It was a lovely space to play. But then I remember, it got bought by a huge group, and they were going to turn it into a really upscale kind of cocktail bar. It's like I said earlier, it's just the way it is in Canal Street. Venues evolve, venues change. What the customer wants changes. So, the venues have to adapt or die.
So at the time of finding out, did it seem like a big deal?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was sworn to secrecy, because it wasn't public knowledge. But I remember just being like, it's a huge deal. Canal Street's losing what I consider to be the best venue on the street in the entire gay village. It's one of the best. And, it made me wonder, what's it going to be like? But then Canal Street adapts. Other venues start doing things differently, and that's just the way it is. And I mean, that's why the gay village in Manchester is amazing, because it doesn't matter what you're looking for on a night out. It's got everything for everyone. You want to go to a big banging club, they've got that. You want to go and hear Kylie and Madonna classics on loop, they've got that. Hell, they've even got a bar dedicated to music from musical theatre.
Oscars,
awful. Which is amazing. And they do really nice gin there as well. Yeah, I mean, and that's what I always say to people, when I talk to people and they say, where would you recommend? I say Manchester, because even if you've got quite a diverse group that have different things they want from a night out, the gay village really does cater well for that. It has just so many different bars, so many different experiences, and it's not the kind of place you can just go for one weekend and say, I've done it. No, you've got to go again and again and again, because it's different all the time.
Are you paid by the Manchester Tourism Board by any chance?
I should be, shouldn't I? I should be like the gay village ambassador.
Do you have any memories of Kiki or clubbing from your own queer scene that you want to share? Well, if you do, please get in touch. I want to create the biggest online record of people's memories and stories of queer clubbing. Go to lostspacespodcast.com and find the section Share a Lost Space to tell me all about what you got up to. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as Lost Spaces Pod. And whilst you're at it, go and give Craig some loving. You can find him on Twitter as DJ Craig Law, or you can listen to his mixes on mixcloud.com/DJ Craig Law. Lost Spaces is not only a podcast, but a concept record as well. I have been writing songs about queer venues and the people who used to live their lives there, and will be releasing songs over the coming year. You can hear the first single, Well Groomed Boys, which is also playing underneath my talking right now on all streaming platforms. If you enjoyed this episode, I would really appreciate if you subscribed, left a review on your podcast platform, or just told people who you think might be interested in giving it a little listen too. I am Kay Anderson, and you have been listening to Lost Spaces.